My miscarriages saved my life. When I was 21, I had a stroke.
Welcome to the Breadcrumb Effect podcast,
where we interview interesting people with a story to tell
and share what breadcrumbs they've picked up along the way. I'm Dani.
And I'm Brittany.
Welcome to the Breadcrumb Effect.
Welcome to the Breadcrumb Effect. Sometimes the hardest chapters of our lives end up leading us exactly where we're meant to be, even when we can't see it at the time. Today's guest is Jess, host of the Twin Mom Life podcast, a space created to bring connection, honesty, and community to moms of multiples navigating the beautiful and chaotic world of motherhood. Jess is a mom to a daughter and twin boys, and through her podcast, she opens up real conversations about motherhood, the highs, the struggles, and everything in between. But what makes her story so powerful isn't what you just see today. It's what she's walked through to get here. Through deep loss, unexpected turns, and moments that didn't make sense at the time, there were breadcrumbs, ones that didn't just shape her journey, but ultimately led her exactly where she needed to be. This conversation is raw, it's real, and it's a reminder that sometimes the things we don't understand in the moment are the very things guiding us forward. Let's get into it.
Welcome, Jess. We are so thrilled. We have been so impressed. We love the community that you're building, and we love just what you're putting out for twin moms. So welcome.
I'm already going to cry.
We have a tissue.
Oh, you're going to set this here.
Yeah, I think that's probably for the best. Thank you.
So in an episode with Maya,
Which isn't breadcrumb of ours.
Exactly.
Yeah. Super cool. Sorry.
For those that want to hear the story, can listen to your episode with Maya because she was a guest on your podcast. And they can also go back and listen to the episode that we put out with Maya. But it ends our breadcrumb. So do you want to share how you and I got introduced?
Yeah, through Facebook. So we all started podcasts at the same time, which is so fun. I think I had posted on Mom Network or something about my podcast, and y'all had too. And then you commented like, oh, Maya. We had literally, I think that day or the next day, we had planned to record a podcast. Yeah. She was my first, my husband was my first guest. Like, love practice, as my guinea pig. But she was my first real twin mom guest. So when you tagged her, I was like, that's so cool. She literally is planned to be a guest on my podcast.
It's amazing.
So it was cool. And I heard about your podcast and I love it. I've listened to all your episodes. I loved your personal episodes. I couldn't believe how much we all had in common, especially around loss, and the timing of our losses was kind of spot on. So I got really emotional listening to your guys' personal episodes.
Oh my God, you just gave me goosebumps.
I know.
Because, and maybe we just dive straight in. Let's just go straight in.
Intro.
We don't need an intro. The tears are already forming. I'm like, I love you.
I love you too. I fucking love you.
I love
you. did it.
There we go.
You fucking did it.
Well-timed.
Thank you.
Impressed.
Thank you. That's fantastic.
Okay. Whew, I needed that sigh. I know what those losses meant for you, but can we share a little bit about that for Brittany and those that are listening? Because I know this is going to help people, because those losses, as terrible as it is to say, were breadcrumbs for you.
Mm-hmm. They were. And I think this is going to sound really weird for me to say this, and I couldn't see that when it was happening, but my miscarriages saved my life, which is very wild because I have a blood clotting disorder that I didn't know about until after my second miscarriage. So I had a miscarriage in 2018, which I feel like is the same year as the same losses.
It was our same year.
So when I look at it from a bird's eye level, it was 2018 was my year of loss. 2019 was my year of pregnancy. 2020 was my year of baby. So that's kind of how I look at it, because both of my losses happened back to back. So the first one happened and I don't know, I was devastated, but my husband still had a lot of hope. Oh my goodness, this happens more than we would think. And it's totally fine. It was like a chromosomal abnormality. And that's kind of what all the doctors were saying. And they kind of were like, that sucks, but everything's fine.
So sorry to interject, did you find out at the 10-week genetic testing?
No, I had a pretty early miscarriage. It was probably around 5 or 6 weeks. So it was early and it happened naturally. I didn't have to have a DNC. It just was a natural miscarriage. And then they were like, you can try again, next cycle, go ahead. And we got pregnant next cycle. And this is the crazy thing. So me and my husband are 2 days apart. So my birthday is August 8th and his is August 6th. But he's 2 years my senior. So just noted.
Yeah.
Yes. It's all, there's like so many numerical things. So this is the crazy thing. The second time we got pregnant, their due date was August 7th. So it would have been David's birthday, our baby's birthday, and then my birthday. I like never talk about this. It's going to make me cry. And I have 3 kids. It's so wild. Like it just always hurts your heart. Yeah. You know?
Yes.
So when we found that out, we're like, their birthday is August 7th. Like, what are the odds of that? We just had a feeling this is it. This is going to work. And I actually made it slightly further. Both miscarriages, I never had an ultrasound. The loss happened before that ultrasound. So I think this was maybe closer to like 6.5, 7 weeks. And then I started bleeding. And I just knew, okay, it's happening again. I'm the like over the top kind of emotional one. My husband is not. He's like very even keel, straight laced. And he started getting emotional. And I was like, so when he started getting emotional about it, I'm like, man, this is bad. And then it started opening a whole nother can of worms. Can we have babies? Am I going to be a mom? What is happening? And I had read a ton that in order to receive a bunch of testing, you have to have 3 miscarriages. And I'm like, I'm not going through this again. That's ridiculous. So I kind of went into my OB ready to fight. And he was like, no, we should definitely do testing. I'm like, oh, thank goodness. So that was our next step. We both actually had genetic testing to make sure that we didn't have some weird issue where we couldn't have kids together. And I think it was like 16 vials of blood work done. It was wild. And it was all these like autoimmune things. And I remember when they called me, I was in the Chick-fil-A line. I like remember it vividly. I was like getting Chick-fil-A and she's like, something came back positive. And I screamed, yes. I was excited to have a reason.
An answer.
It was like, oh my God, like, thank you. What is it? Is it fixable? Like, what can we do? And I found out I have a blood clotting disorder. It's called Factor V Leiden. And it makes me about 5 to 6 times more likely to clot than the average person. So, and then I'll tell you some backstories, but it all made sense. So they basically were like, we kind of think that little blood clots are coming up in the placenta, and then you're no longer giving nutrients to the baby, and then the miscarriage is happening. And this all goes back to when I was 21, I had a stroke. I know. And it was wild. Like, at the time, I actually worked at the ER. So I FaceTimed an ER doctor and I was like, what is happening? Half of my face was paralyzed. It was wild. And he was like, you need to come in immediately. My blood pressure was through the roof. At the time, I was on the birth control pill, which I should have never been on. I cannot be on hormonal birth control or anything hormonal because of my clotting disorder. I didn't know that at the time. And they didn't think to test me for anything like that. A clotting disorder was not even on anyone's radar. They thought it was kind of a fluke thing due to stress. At that time, I had 3 jobs. I was taking a gap year in between undergrad and my master's and was just overwhelmed.
Also, hold on. Like, as a female looking for help, they're like, oh, you're just overwhelmed.
Yeah, I think that was kind of I'm like, I'm having a stroke. I'm 21. This doesn't make
this is not normal.
It's nothing physical.
Well, and then they were like, maybe it's an eye issue. So I have had, wasn't planning on sharing this, but I have had corrective plastic surgery after that. Like my right eye never recovered. So I've had like an eye lift.
Never have noticed.
Never have noticed.
That's the plan, girl.
Never.
I mean, it looked like I could barely open my right eye. It was very, it was like paralyzed. So they lifted the muscle to help fix that. But luckily, I didn't have any other permanent damage. Like some people have memory loss. They can't talk. They can't walk after stroke. So luckily, mine was a mini stroke. It's called a TIA. And so it was nice. All these things came into place. I had answers, and that's genetic. So I found out my mom had it. My mom used to be a smoker. I'm like, you are so lucky. So she doesn't smoke anymore. But I'm like, all these things we all learn so much about ourselves. So
did she stop smoking when she found out about your diagnosis?
It was all around the same time.
So like,
yes.
honestly, like these terrible things in your life are your breadcrumbs. You working in the ER. If you had some other job, you might not have been as quick to do.
And if you're looking at like triaging people, like a stroke is going to be pretty high on the list, especially in a young, relatively healthy person. Like this is like major red flags, you know? All of that was kind of wild. Now I can see that. Then I just was so devastated and confused and honestly like mad. After the second one, I feel like is when the anger came in, which I guess is, you know, the stages of grief. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're
going through them.
Yes. So and now I have 3 kids. So we found out I have the blood clotting disorder. And in order to make sure that I can have a healthy pregnancy, I just take an injectable blood thinner while I'm pregnant.
Oh.
So like even aspirin isn't enough. Like I know some pregnant women have to do that, but I have to do an injectable. So I had to do that while pregnant and then 6 weeks postpartum.
Oh, wow. When we experience these losses of miscarriage, we do seek an answer.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And so many times people don't have an answer because it's just unfortunately something that happens. So the fact that, number one, you were able to get pregnant quickly is a blessing.
Yes.
Because a lot of people struggle with actually getting pregnant.
Sure.
But then the fact that like they allowed for testing after 2, and then they found that you had the blood clot. I mean, this is all leading you. And then, like you said, you wouldn't have had these specific 3 children.
Right. And I think that's what is so weird to me is like, not that those first 2 were so special, but I couldn't imagine not having the 3 that I have. So yeah, that's like a weird thing to like the emotions that I have towards that are interesting as well.
It's kind of a mind fuck too.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. I will say after the second miscarriage and then finding out, it did take us a little bit longer to get pregnant, but it was really hard because I'm like, now I have this plan. I have the injectable blood thinner and I'm ready to go. And I want to see if that works. I think my body was like, you need a little bit of a break. You calm down.
Your body's like, can you chill? And you're like, body, you're ruining my plans.
Yeah.
Like, we have a life to live, okay?
100%. 100%. So then I got pregnant with my daughter, Kaia, and then had the worst postpartum experience ever because she was born in February of 2020.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
Again,
you're all the
now-
same. So all
Yes.
of our daughters are around the same age.
My daughter just turned 6. Mm-hmm. I know, it's wild. It's crazy.
And then you had the twins after Kaia?
Yes. It's really funny. We were totally fine with just having one. I'm an only child. And after what we went through to get her and then the postpartum, oh man, I had pretty bad postpartum depression and COVID just really messed up our plan. So I didn't have a lot of support. All of the parents wanted to help. And I was like, no, I have this earthside baby finally, and no one's going to touch her and get germs on her. Like we didn't know what it was at the time. And we were scared, quite honestly. And we had this 2-week-old baby, you know? So when she was around 2.5, we were like, okay, I think we could do this again. And we used to always say, for sure 1, maybe 2, never 3. And I feel like God's like, funny, I'm going to give you what you need, girl.
Oh.
And we got pregnant with twins. So I have identical twin boys who just turned 2.5, or they're 2.5.
They're adorable. All 3 of your kids are really great.
Thank you.
Hey, there's a reason why there's the saying that God laughs at our plans.
Yeah.
Because he literally does. He's like,
Yes.
oh, never 3. Watch this.
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel like that's what he did. He was like, I'll give you 3.
He knows what we need.
Yes.
We don't know what we
I
need.
agree. Well, and I was like terrified to have 2 boys. So I have a not rare type of twins, but the type of twins I have, they have their own sacs and their own placentas. So typically they're fraternal, but our boys are identical, which can happen, but it's just like a smaller percentage. When we first had their ultrasound, we were told they're fraternal. We were like, okay, I don't know anything about twins. So I was like, oh my gosh, it'd be so fun to have a boy-girl twin. And then we found back. Like, I feel like I wanted maybe girl-boy, then girl-girl, and then boy-boy. Like, that scared me. I'm like, 2 boys, especially after having a daughter. And it's so fun. They're amazing. Are they destructive? Yes.
Absolutely. It's fine.
It's fine.
It's fun. It's fine and it's fun.
That's exactly right.
And it's terrifying, but that's okay.
Yes. Yes.
Did you have them here?
Yes. They're born bred Texans. My daughter is not. So we moved here when she was 9 months old.
Oh, so like during COVID, you moved.
Yeah, we did.
No, she was here. Yeah.
My husband is in a band. This is like, so not silly, but my husband is in a death metal band
So awesome.
called Impending Doom. Shout out. Yeah, rock on.
The
And So they're from California, originally from Riverside. The lead singer of the band moved to Round Rock a long time ago. We were always interested in coming out here for land. Having 2 acres in California would cost a small fortune. So that was something we were really looking into. And then we were, looking in the areas around here. So we settled on Central Texas.
Yes. Cool. We don't have to, but I kind of want to talk about postpartum.
Yeah,
a bit, especially during COVID, because that was
so
a terrifying time. Just to have in general, it was a terrifying time. But like first time mom, after experiencing miscarriages, so you're already like in this, oh my gosh, I have to protect this baby.
I was terrified that she was going to die.
Yeah,
all the time. She slept in a dock-a-tot, and I'm not recommending this. She slept in a dock-a-tot in our bed in between us. And I just like kind of stared at her all night, like crazy. I was just crazy. And she didn't sleep. We used to call her Kaia. I'm like, oh my gosh, please go to sleep. So I feel like because I had losses, I had painted motherhood as like this perfect place that I wanted to get to. And then when I got to it, it was kind of like what did I do? And this isn't what I expected or what I thought. And it was really just like those first 4 to 6 months that were very hard, of her not sleeping, of us not having support. And then I feel like around the 4-month mark, we were like, okay, people come into our house, please.
Yeah.
After being alone for so long, and it got a little bit better, I hired a sleep trainer because I felt it was like she needs to learn how to sleep or she's not going to have a mom kind of situation.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was so hard. And I know you guys have very similar timelines of when your daughters were born.
Postpartum is a weird thing because no one prepares you, which I don't know that you even could prepare someone for motherhood. Like there's no true preparation, but I feel like we're getting better about talking about it now.
Yeah.
But no one talks about the postpartum, all of the emotions that you feel, the loneliness you feel, the happiness, but sadness and anger all at the same time. It's a very weird thing. And I feel really lucky because my mom, she quarantined with us so that she could be there. I feel so bad. My stepdad and my brother and my nephew, they would come and they would look in the window and say hi. But my mom stayed with us for like 4, 5, 6, a very long time. She didn't even go home.
That's amazing.
Because, and I don't know that I would have survived without her, period.
I didn't do a good job. I cried all the time. I was so, I don't even know if unhappy was the right word. I was so unbelievably lonely, and I'm very extroverted. And at that time, my husband had a very different job and would be gone around 12 hours a day. And he was using like heavy machinery. So he slept in a different room. He was like, I cannot be sleep deprived for safety.
Yeah.
So I was alone kind of 24/7. There was like a period between like 5 to 9 p.m. that he would help me. And he was struggling also. He was like, I'm exhausted.
Right.
This is weird. And when you're talking about through the window, I have this memory of my mother-in-law bringing us groceries. And I was trying to show her Kaia through the window, and like all 3 of us were crying. It was such a sad, weird time.
Yeah.
And I think having losses before made it worse because I'm like, this is what I wanted. This is what I was praying for. And why can't I be happy?
Brings guilt.
Yeah, I felt so much mom guilt, but I also had pretty bad postpartum depression, which I did not experience with the boys. That was a big thing that my husband and I talked about when deciding if we wanted to have another. I don't think I like newborns. And it's funny looking back at it now. I'm like, I feel like newborns are relatively easy. I like kind of sleep a lot, but like everything is perspective, right? Totally. And I had a very different baby. I don't know. Kaia was never diagnosed with colic, but maybe like there were some issues going on because of the amount she cried does not even compare to twin newborns. Like she cried all the time, which is like sleep deprivation, and a crying baby is like some kind of its own demented torture.
Yes.
And I was just really going through it. I will say going from 0 to 1 was harder for us personally than going from 1 to 3.
Isn't that interesting? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And my postpartum, was it difficult with the boys? Sure, in different ways, but it was easier than my postpartum with Kaia. I was so sleep deprived with the boys, but I had my village was there. Like my mother-in-law stayed with us for like 3 weeks. My mom was right there always to help with my daughter and with the boys and with cooking. My neighbors did a meal train for us. Our people, it just was a very different situation that made my postpartum feel easier even with twins.
Yeah.
Which is just kind
Well,
of
that's what they say. It takes a village.
Yeah, and it's so true.
And we were in, during COVID, it was just a lonely time in general.
Yeah.
And it was a scary time because nowhere in my brain would I have ever thought the whole world is going to fucking shut down. Period.
It was almost like, why did we even have a baby? That's how I felt. Like in the beginning, when we were watching the news all the time, which we were like, we can't do this for our mental health. Like, turn the news off. This is all wild. And we were kind of like, what have we done? We're all going to die. That's how I felt at the time. Why did we even do this?
Right. We have to tell you about something we've been loving lately. It fits our whole breadcrumb philosophy perfectly. It's called the Feel Good Workbook, and it was created by Dr. Kell, who you might remember from our manifesting episode. You know how she talks about following the universe's breadcrumbs? This workbook is basically that, but on paper, with actual tools you can use in real life. The idea behind it is honestly so simple, but so powerful. It teaches you how to use your human guidance system, which is basically your built-in compass for life. Think of it like the game Hot and Cold. When something feels good, you're moving in the right direction. When something feels heavy or off, that's your signal that you're getting colder and maybe taking a step away from what you actually want. What we love about this workbook is that it shows you how to read those emotional signals in real time and then shift back to feeling good fast. Not ignore your feelings, not push through. Just gently course correct so you stay aligned with where you're meant to go. Because here's the thing, the key to health, healing, and honestly creating a life you love is feeling good. And when you feel good, you're aligned, you're magnetic, you're following the breadcrumbs. And when you don't, this workbook helps you figure out why and what to do next. And the best part is our listeners get 10% off the Feel Good Workbook. Just use the code breadcrumbs10 at checkout. Feel free to go to the link in our show notes, or you can go to Linktree/Dr. Kelly, that's Dr. Kelley. So if you're trying to live more intentionally, more aligned, and actually enjoy the path you're on, this is such a good place to start.
And I'm so glad that we are beyond that all now, because that was just a really wild time. But I think it kind of has affected, I mean, how could it not? Like it has affected all of us, I'm sure, and how we parent, how we live our lives
and
day to day.
As a holistic community, have gone through so much in the last 6 years. I think your story is a testament to the environmental impacts, what you go through. Amelia was colicky. I mean, we went to a lot of different doctors and we found out she had some other kidney stuff going on, which I think she just didn't have a voice to say maybe what amount of pain she was in. But if she wasn't sleeping or eating, she was screaming. And I remember parents being like, yeah, just take your kids wherever you go. Travel with your kids. I'm like, it is not the same when you have a colicky baby.
Oh, yeah.
I felt trapped. I couldn't leave the house. It was terrible. And it wasn't the same experience with Abby. So I think it's really fascinating what you said about how you had a different experience with your twins. And I think you were meant to have your twins. And I know that you know that, but to know that now you've built this community and you're building this community, and think about how many other moms you've helped already through this. Like, I like going through and reading the comments that people have written on your page. It actually gives me goosebumps right now, even thinking about it, because you're touching other people's lives. You're helping them because they might be going through postpartum and not even knowing it until they see other people's stories and hear them and think, wait, I am going through that. I must be. Maybe they'll turn around and ask for help too. So,
yeah. I mean, I honestly feel like we can talk about motherhood for another 3 hours. Yeah. But I do want to get into, I know you mentioned that you've had, a couple different careers and that those are breadcrumbs for you. And I'd love to hear more about that.
Sure. Yes. There's one breadcrumb I want to talk about with Kaia's name.
Yeah.
That I think you guys will love because you guys are readers. And then I would love to answer that question.
No, tell me any breadcrumb moment.
Okay.
Say it.
I just thought about it. I'm like looking at the books. Okay. Have you guys read Where the Crawdad Sings?
Yes.
Hell yes.
Okay. So her name's Catherine, but her nickname is Kaia. And that's where Kaia's name is from. And it all stems from where I read the book. After our second miscarriage, David and I were like, honestly, at the point where we were like mad. We were like, this is wild. Screw all of this. We're not going to be parents. We're just going to do something for ourselves. And we went to Maui and we got married in Maui. So that was a meaningful spot to us. And I read Where the Crawdads Sing in Maui, and I needed to read that book. It's so inspirational about this badass woman.
Totally.
And her story is so cool, and she beat all the odds.
She's
really clever.
Yeah.
Yes, I just really enjoyed that book. And my husband and I could not agree on a name ever. And I was telling him about the book, and he was like, oh, Kaia's a cool name. And I was like, you like the name Kaia? Because I love that name, but I didn't think you were going to like it. So we kind of made a mental note. Like, I don't think we were talking about baby names at that point. Like, that's not where we were. But I'm like, noted. And then we spell it not like Kya, we spell it Kaia, which is like C in Hawaiian. So it all kind of like fit. So yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
It was really.
That's a beautiful breadcrumb. And what's cool is like when she gets older, and I don't know, 6-year-olds, I feel like, man, they're so smart. So she might already kind of want to know this, but like hearing like how you were named and why you were named is really
it's
cool.
really interesting.
Kids like that.
Yeah, kids love that. And as an adult, like it's a neat story. So that's something that you can give to her when she's a little bit, I mean, you already gave her name, right? You gave her life. They should be appreciative, but also like the way she was named, that's really beautiful.
Thank you. You have the best laugh. I feel like whenever I listen to the podcast, like I am giggling at whatever you said and your laugh. It's the best. It's so cute.
Sometimes I'm like, oh my God, I probably shouldn't laugh as much.
No,
but I'm like,
please don't ever change it. It is the best. It is so contagious. It is fantastic.
Thank you. I love it. Now I want to laugh more. Just kidding.
Well, laugh it up. I'm a silent laugher. And then I'm the one that's like gasping for air. I'm that laugher. So people are like, are you dying? Like, no, I'm laughing and like, yeah. So I'm enjoying myself. Exactly. I'm just trying to breathe in between my laughter. So I appreciate that your laugh has noise because mine doesn't. So
we always want what we can't have, damn it.
yeah. So I love that question. Yes, I am like a serial career changer. I have my master's in public health, and after school, I did a lot of nonprofit management. I loved it. We did a lot of community education, think like diabetes. I worked in like homelessness for a little bit, so a lot of public health issues. And I loved it. It was great. It really filled my cup in a certain way then, but I worked crazy hours working for nonprofits. I worked a lot of nights and weekends. In wanting to be a mom, I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to do this. I really wanted to be a stay-at-home mom, and I am now. So we were like, this career and this timing isn't going to work for us in motherhood. I don't want to only see my kids minimal time. I was kind of looking into something else, and my dad is in real estate. He's a real estate appraiser. And growing up, he always had his own, he has his own business and his own schedule. And I was really intrigued by that. So I left my job at a nonprofit to train in real estate appraising. And everyone was like, what? Like, you worked so hard for your master's. And I was like, it's just different. I just want different things. Like, I loved my job. I'm so glad I did that. I did it for a long time. And now I'm ready to still work, but be able to manage my time. I did that for a while. It was really great. And I still have my license. It's still active. So when you were talking about that you were in real estate, I'm like, oh my gosh, we have so much in common.
We're like instant besties. Love it.
Hey. Yes, I know. I'm so excited. So excited to meet you guys. So I did that for a while. And then the market got very slow. And it was like, okay, I need to kind of pivot here. And I did home organizing for a little bit. It was so fun. I really loved it. And then I got pregnant with the boys. And I did that home organizing until I was about 20 weeks. And when I was 20 weeks, I looked full term. I mean, I was just like swollen and large and in charge. And I don't think I really was struggling physically to continue. And it's a lot of moving things. One of my last jobs I did was a garage. And I was like, I don't think I can do this anymore. Even just doing pantries, I was like, this is hard and like physical work. So I stopped doing that around 20 weeks and then was a stay-at-home mom with my 3 kids up until this year. And I'm still a stay-at-home mom, but I started my podcast.
Which is a full-time.
Oh my gosh. It is It really is.
Yes.
So I have my Kaia.
I mean, she is your
My
Kaia,
Kaia.
yes.
My daughter is in kindergarten full time, so that helps there. But my boys only go to a Mother's Day Out program 6 hours a week, so I'm doing a lot nights and weekends, which I said I didn't want to do. No, but I love it. It's like really filling my cup in a completely different way. And it's so fun. I know a lot of people talk about this on the podcast. It is so amazing to have that creative outlet. I feel like I've always loved helping people. I feel like that's another common theme. So when I got the idea, I actually wanted to do a podcast like when I had my miscarriages 7 years ago. And it just just has never been the right time. So I was at a cookie exchange party through the women's church that I go to, or the women's group through my church. There we go. It is a co-ed church.
You know what? I would be very interested. What would a women's church look like?
That's really amazing.
No. Oh, that's so funny. See, I like gasped for air. I'm like, I'm alive. So I was there, and one of the moms who I'm friends with wasn't there. And someone I was like asking about her, like, oh, where's Caitlin? And they're like, she, can't come tonight, whatever. But did you know she has a podcast? And I was like, no, I didn't. And I listened to her podcast. She had 3 Under 3 also. So I'm like, oh my gosh, it was just really motivating that I feel like you're always like, I don't have time right now. I can't do it. Oh my gosh, just keep putting it back. That is very me. Like, I'll do it when the kids are older. And I was like, no, I'm going to do it now. So that was in December, and I kicked off my podcast in January. I was like, I'm doing it. But I already had all of these ideas. So creating it was really the technical side that I was afraid of. I'm like, David, help my husband. Like, help. I'm like, don't do tech stuff. But it's been easier than I thought to figure that side out. I feel like podcasting is becoming so popular that finding steps to do it and programs are like easier than it was. I've heard some people be like, oh, I record in here and I edit in this app. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, I have something where I do it all in one, which is like, thank you. I need something easy or I wouldn't have done it.
Right.
So now I have a podcast. It's called Twin Mom Life. And I just interview other twin moms about the magic and chaos that is raising twins. So.
And you're building this community. Look, okay, think about it this way. You have where you started, you were helping the community through public health. And then you did real estate appraising and I'm in real estate. So I truly believe this. Appraisers help the buyers to make sure they're not overpaying.
Sure.
Okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like that's a good way to look at it, right? Then home organization, helping people. I mean, guys, if your house is not organized, your brain is not organized.
Sure.
I stand by this, okay? Now, it can be a little messy, but just everything has a home.
Yes.
It can be a messy organization, but that's okay. And then now you're building this community, which takes you back to your roots of public health, but you're able to express yourself creatively. This is all of your careers have really led you kind of back to the beginning, but in a different route.
And all in service of others.
It's been really fun. And I think a really cool thing is we had a play date, like an in-person twin play date last week. It was magical. I was so nervous no one was going to show up. I'm like, is it just going to be me and my twins? I'm like, hello, sorry, I reserved the whole play place for me and my boys. And it sold out. They were emailing her, when's the next one going to be? Because I can't get a spot.
Wow.
It was like never in my life. So I'm like, I think people are looking for that community, and it didn't, there are some twin organizations and stuff, but it was just really cool to see. Because like part of my purpose of the podcast is for community connection and friendships for moms of multiples. So to see that in real time was so cool. It was really cool. And we're going to do that every other month, like locally. So if you're local to Central Texas, you can find me on Instagram.
Please do.
My Instagram is @TwinMomLifePodcast. And my podcast is Apple, Spotify, YouTube, wherever you stream your podcast. And it's called Twin Mom Life.
Yes. And I love that. I think in general, whether you're a twin mom or not, we are craving connection. We are craving genuine friendships. We are craving people to just show up who they really freaking are. And it's hard, and I will say though, as a mom, I feel like it's way easier to make friends as a mom than as not a mom.
I think so. And I am that person who, if we're talking, I'll be like, can I have your number?
Yep.
And some people are like, sure. And then maybe some people are more weirded out. And then that wasn't my person. And that's okay. I feel like maybe you guys talked about this on your podcast, like don't dim your light. Maybe I'm too much for some people. Like I'm pretty outgoing and that's okay. Those aren't my people. And I feel like the older that I get, the more that I'm okay with that. And I'm still working on like my people pleasing, but it isn't as bad as I was in my 20s where I would do anything like, please like me. And now I'm like, I don't care as much.
Right.
I care a little.
We're always going to care. Like, I feel like the people pleasing doesn't ever like leave us.
Yeah.
But we just get 1 degree better every day, you know, then we're better, right?
Yes.
Like
baby steps.
Baby steps, you know? I know I put on an act like I don't give a fuck. But sometimes I'm like, oh, I give a little fuck.
Yeah, just like a little what?
Both serve differently for us in different ways. Showing up genuine, that is what the industry is going to continue craving, especially in this age of AI. And these, you are absolutely right. These are the themes that continuously pop up in our podcast. The need for a creative outlet, you know, helping and serving others and how that satisfies our own needs, showing up as our genuine full self, doing things anyway, whether people care or not. In the long run, it turns out better for everyone, actually. And then you're happier in the end, which goes back to the postpartum, too, and fulfilling our needs. Then in the sense of community, too, that's the other thing that pops up. It's kind of cool. People have been asking us when we, like, are you going to host retreats? We would love to do a retreat. And we've offline talked about this, right? Like we both love writing. We both love yoga. We know a lot of life coaches.
That's
and like
so
we
fun.
basically have all the elements of a retreat. We just don't have the time to plan it.
That seems like a natural next step though. So that's super exciting. That's great. I love that.
On the radar, but you've gone to a retreat too. So I'd like to hear, and feel free to share what you're willing to share. What did you find that you got out of it? What did you like about it? How did it help?
It was such a great way to fill my cup. And that's like a big thing that I talk about in the podcast. Like our opening question is like, what did you do to fill your cup? I feel like as moms, we are constantly doing things for others and put ourselves on the back burner. So I had a little bit of mom guilt going into it. It was a 2-night retreat. So I'm having to leave and be like, I'm going to do something for myself. Normally, that's a trip with my husband. I don't think I've ever left for that long to just fill my own cup. It was great. We did hikes. It was kind of like a wellness retreat. So there were some talks on certain wellness topics, yoga, hikes, delicious food, watercolor painting. It was so fun. It was magical.
Maybe we'll do that. Breadcrumb live.
Yeah, I know.
We're the future.
Are we setting up another
live breadcrumb? Remember this moment,
we
guys.
Pick this up right now.
I want to circle back really quickly when you were talking about, the podcast, obviously it is a full-time job. I don't want anyone to ever take that away. It is also filling our cup creatively.
Yes.
Right? And you're doing a lot of things nights and weekends. And how you say like, oh, I didn't have the time. But somehow when we really want to do something that is filling our cup, we do it on the nights and the weekends and the time, we find the time for the things that we really want to do. So I think that, I get stuck in this too. Like, I don't have time to do that. And then I find myself like
you have time to do what you want to do.
Yeah, I actually do have time for this. I just don't want to do that other thing, but this thing I want to do. And I think that's really cool. I think we all need this. We all need that creative outlet, and it gives us more time. Honestly, sometimes now I'm feeling like I have all the time. Like, I'm like, what did I used to do before I had the podcast? Because work is work, right? I do work still. We do the podcast still.
Yeah.
We have the kids still, but it's all happening.
Yeah. Well, in that book, Designing Your Life, it talks about doing a time log. Where are you spending your time? Okay, so I want to speaking of time, I want to respect your time.
Yeah.
Should we do a segment?
Yeah. Sure.
Gooey dough, burnt toast, and risen bread. Gooey dough is a little messy in the middle. Burnt toast is maybe something we're going through. Maybe it's something that we've overcame. And then risen bread is something that's really great that's happened in your life recently.
I love highs and lows. We do that when we start our dinner. Our boys are 2, so what they pick to say is super funny. But we try to do highs and lows at our table. So I love that is a segment. Okay. I would say a low that I'm working through right now, and I think it's solved without giving too much information, was some tax issues that we had this year. And that was just a little bit stressful on my end. I think we're through it. That was a low over the past couple of days, just kind of like working through that issue. That's not like fun for my brain to do that.
I don't enjoy it.
Didn't love it. I'm like, didn't love it.
Who wants to deal with
I
taxes?
didn't like the check we had to write this year. That was not fun.
Same. So that was probably a low. A high is on Thursday, I'm taking my daughter on our second annual girls trip. I'm so excited.
Where are you going?
So we're going to Northern California to Petaluma. So that's where my sister and brother-in-law live, and
family
my
there.
nephew in Petaluma.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, breadcrumb.
That's why.
Another live breadcrumb.
So cool. That's really fun. We're staying at like a cute little boutique hotel.
It's a cute area.
It's so fun. And they have like all the shops downtown. So I'm really excited. And then we're flying into San Francisco, and my daughter loves the Golden Gate Bridge. So she was very upset that it was not in fact golden.
Oh,
That was,
how dare that bridge not
she
be
was
golden?
pretty upset about it.
I don't blame her.
Yeah. But so she's excited to go on all these bridges. It's just so different from where we live. So she's like, are we going to go on all those bridges? I'm like, yeah,
And
we are,
tunnels.
sister. Yes. And she's like, why are there no tunnels? I can't hold my breath out here.
We always hold our breath and lift our feet.
Yeah. And then make a wish. And you can't tell your wish because it won't come true.
Wait, is that for, like, y'all do that in tunnels? You don't do it for cemeteries?
What?
Wait, we do. Okay, so I'm from Texas. And so
We're both from
If-
California.
and so in Texas, you do that for a cemetery.
Oh, that
You-
actually makes more sense.
Yes. You hold your breath. Sometimes you lift your feet, sometimes you don't. You do make a wish and you don't tell anyone. Yeah. And sometimes these cemeteries are way too long. And I'm like,
Oh my God.
I'm like,
You're
oh my God.
I'm like, not drive by the memorial cemetery.
I'm like, I might end up in the cemetery if I keep letting my breath.
I can't do it.
Okay, wait. So y'all are going on you said second annual girls trip.
Yeah.
So are you doing this with both both set? Well, I don't know if there's actually sets of kids because there's two sets of kids. Like, are you going to do this with the twins as well? Or is this something just for you and Kaia?
I think it's just for me and Kaia. And the boys are going to have their boys weekend.
okay.
So they'll be home.
love
And
that.
I feel like maybe when they're older, while we go on our trip, David will take them somewhere. But we did this trip last year. So it's our second annual trip. So I'm super excited.
good for Kaia too. Sorry,
She loves it to get that
so
alone
much
time.
attention
I know.
goes into the twins, right? They are so
Yeah.
young. There's two of them, so I'm sure that was a hard adjustment. So I think that's really great you're doing that.
I'm
for
super
her.
excited. And like her excitement is getting me more excited. So she just started like reading and writing, and she is an amazing reader. It has been the coolest thing ever. I've been thinking about this a lot. Like milestones are cool, like walking, saying a first word, whatever. Seeing your kid read, I was like,
Read the world, like their surroundings. It's cool.
and so I'm like mind blown all the time. We love Fancy Nancy, and she can read Fancy Nancy now by herself. And I'm like, those are like fancy words, and you're like reading them. It's just like mind blowing. So because of all of this reading and writing, she is writing me notes all over the house about the trip. It is so cute. She
have a diary for the trip.
Oh, that's like, she would love that.
Oh.
Like, she would love that. So she wrote me a note yesterday that said, do not forget my suitcase.
Well, watch the airport. Forget it.
Make hers a carry-on.
Yes, right. I know. So she's so cute. So her excitement, like I was already excited, of course, but then seeing her excitement is getting me like super pumped. So really excited. That's a big high. So
That's amazing.
Do you like find your breadcrumbs or follow your breadcrumbs?
okay, I've been thinking a lot about this because I know this is what you guys talk about at the end. I don't know because I feel like they both work. Because some breadcrumbs I feel like are obvious. Oh, that like obviously led me to where I am. And then some you kind of have to go back and do a little bit more soul searching on.
It's true.
So I don't know. I feel like they both work. So is that like a cop out? I'm like, I like them both.
Go to the week and find and follow your breadcrumbs.
Just say both. Yep. You say find, you say follow. Perfect.
No, you got to pick one. We will still love you no matter what you choose.
She will judge you a little. She just likes winning is all.
I think that I like I think I like find.
I love when people like find.
I see how you're following them, but sometimes like you have to retrospectively look back. And I think that's finding. We're following it's in front of you.
There you go.
Okay.
There we go.
But I feel like you could be standing there and looking forward to follow and looking back to find.
Oh, that's really cool. I like that. I like
So
that
you
too.
could
You can do either, guys.
So
look.
I pick find, but I see both.
Love it.
So guys, just like find and follow the freaking breadcrumbs.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's the real point of it. Okay.
Yes, they both work.
Okay.
I had a dream about this.
What?
Yes, that you guys were like, okay, now we're going to say it together. And I'm like, I host the podcast by myself. I don't know how to talk with other people at the same time. And it was like, you guys were like, it's okay, you can do it. And I feel like it's
happening.
deja vu.
I'm like,
Did
this already happen in another universe?
Now I'm scared. I'm like, so I say, find your breadcrumbs. Good time.
We need a little poster for it. What's it called? Teleprompter?
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Okay.
I'm going to mess it up. Watch.
All right, friends. So go out into your week and find your breadcrumbs.
We may cuss, we may offend.
Maybe don't listen to this with your kids in the car. We're here to learn and laugh, not to offend.
We are not experts, so take what resonates and professional advice where needed. Thanks for hanging out with us today.
If you've loved today's conversation, subscribe so you don't miss future episodes. Continue picking up the breadcrumbs by leaving us a review and sharing.
Follow us on socials. We are at Instagram at The Breadcrumb Effect, TikTok at The Breadcrumb Effect Pod, and YouTube at The Breadcrumb Effect.
Let us know your favorite episode or what you'd like to see.
Want to be a guest or know someone with a story? Fill out our guest interest form linked in our bios.
Finally, let us know if you found the hidden loaf. Until next time, keep picking up those breadcrumbs.
They're leading you exactly where you're meant to be.
Dude,
It's
when you're
crazy.
pregnant, they're like,
They're just literally like, oh, how'd you conceive your twins? I'm like, oh, okay. Like, are we going there? Like that's wild.
we fucked. Do you want to know the position?
But I'm like, what do you? I don't know what to say. It's turning into like a rated R conversation. What?
Well, explicit, both of
Okay.
her.
I love it. I love it because I feel like I'm driving all the time and I don't always have the kids in the car. And when you drop an F-bomb, I'm like, yeah, girl. I love it because mine isn't, because I feel like we only talk
kids
about
are gonna
mom
be in the
life.
car.
Yes. So we try not. I think the worst word we've had was badass. And she was like, can I say badass? I'm like, yeah, please say it. So maybe I'll drop an F-bomb on her.
Yeah, you do it for me. Let's just slip it in somewhere. Watch it be like 20 times. For it.
I don't know about that. But maybe once. Maybe once.
That's all you need. You just need one good F-bomb.
This is so cute. You guys have done a great job. I love it.
To be a little sassy.
Okay.
That big book has been through some stuff.
Find your breadcrumbs.
That's incredible. Wait, it's okay. It's okay. But that was the first time we've ever done it on the first take.
Yeah,
Oh,
seriously.
We always have
I
at
feel
least
like-
2 or 3 takes.
I feel like I was going to sing follow, which is funny because I'm the one that said fine.